Hi, everybody. Welcome to AITA Pod. I'm Danny Vega, joined today by our lovely, lovable new producer, not locked in producer, but temporary producer, potentially long-term potential. Why am I stipulating this so much? Lily.
We'll find out soon.
Welcome to the show, Lily. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you so much, Danny. I'm really excited. Been listening for years, and it's super cool to be a part of it. Seriously.
You've been listening for years, really. That's a long time.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me when people are like, I've listened to every episode. I'm like, I don't even like myself that much. But you know who I do like, Lily, is the wonderful first guest you have booked today. Bridgette Blankenhorn is her real name, but please call her Bridgette Blank. I just thought it was kind of funny, so I left it in there. She's an indie pop and folk musician based in SoCal. Yeah, I said it. Cali. Why not?
Oh, God.
Recovered musical theater kid, once on a reality TV show, went viral as the judgmental school picture day photographer on TikTok, but now she is a musician. Bridgette Blank, welcome to the show.
Hello, happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's so great to have you, and I don't know that we've had a proper musician on the show. I personally enjoy music. I said it, people.
I'm just glad to be considered a proper musician, if I'm being honest.
Oh, 100%.
It means a lot. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
You mentioned to me that you play kind of a variety of instruments, so you're an instrumentalist. What's your go-to, noise box?
I tend to write on just mainly guitar vocal, a singer-songwriter first, and a good instrumentalist second. So I just do what I can.
That felt like a really good musician joke right there.
Thank you. I might use that.
Yeah, no,
I might
that's
use
fire.
it on
That's fire.
stage soon.
That's good.
But truly, I'm a performer first. I've just, ever since I could exist, I was performing.
You put on one hell of a show.
I do what I can. Thank you very much.
Listen, I'm going to tell you a terribly unlikable take. I know I got all offended because I told you I had a Poly D, which is no connection to the guy, Poly D. It means polyphonic. Doesn't mean fucking poly, like I'm from the piece of shore poly shit.
Interesting take.
Here's the take, is that I like electronic music. I know. I'm saying it out loud, people. I'm being brave. Mm-hmm. Whenever I see a live band besides Chromeo, you like Chromeo?
No, fucking whiting who? I don't know. I don't know.
Chromeo is. Okay. Well, you're 24. That's okay.
Sorry.
But
I don't listen to electronic music.
Yeah, well, they're funky. But anyway, so that usually it sounds worse, though, than the album. And what's your response to this? EDM sounds better live because it's, they are just hitting play for the most part.
I think EDM is meant to be live.
There we go.
Always. When I hear EDM, granted I don't listen to it in my free time, but like I've been up in the club, I party
I'm sorry?
hard.
Up in the club?
I apologize immediately for that one.
I just realized it was in a club. It took me that long to process that. Okay.
Oh gosh.
So you've gotten hyphy on it.
Yeah, like I have a good time. I can definitely dance to some dance music,
What kind of energy are you trying to create at a Bridgette Blank show, and how do you facilitate that?
Oh, just a nice, sad, like we can cry together and then 2 seconds later laugh. I think because a lot of my music is, it's very sad.
It's very sad.
But I try to approach everything with, tongue-in-cheek lyricism. So my shows, even though like the music content is like, upsetting, and I talk about like, my antidepressants and like my mom is sad because I'm sad and like all this stuff. And then 2 seconds later, we're all just laughing about it. And my mom's sitting there and she's cracking up.
It's cathartic.
So it ends up being exactly. It's like a comedy show and a music show rolled into one, I like to say, because I can't bring myself to actually do stand up. So that's what I do.
Music is just like a weird side thing. But now you are sad though.
Oh yeah.
You're primarily
I'm medicated.
Sad. You're medicated.
Yeah.
So your music is mostly sad, like Radiohead sad, or what kind of sad, like melancholy, or like?
Yeah, I think melancholy is like a good way to say it. It focuses on. My first album, I primarily wrote it in like high school.
Yeah.
And so oh God, it's really coming down out there. Sorry, it doesn't rain here.
The rain is a metaphor for your sadness.
That is Oh my God, when I learned that in like 9th grade in my
Bit of a
lit
filmmaker
class.
myself. Thank you.
And then we watched fucking, what's that movie? Cinderella Story with Hilary Duff, and it rains at the end after like the drought. She's like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
been waiting for drought and all this rain.
Yeah.
Where was I?
Your music is sad. I guess my question for you, because listen, as a comedian, I have all these like standards for what, and this show is kind of like not, I don't know. This show is about to me exploring the situations, but when I do stand up, right, I'm like, I want to work clean. I want to be zany. I want to be interesting. I want to be unique. I have all these goals of my material, and then the material itself sucks. But I guess, you know, I'm trying to get as many laughs as possible. That's basically the goal of stand up. But I don't want to be hacky. That's important to me, right? Like I would feel really shitty if my friend was like, dude, I can't believe, you know, you're kind of hacky up there. Is there something like that for you where you're like, oh, you know, I don't want to be too saccharine. You know, I don't want to be Miley Cyrus pop up there. Or like, I don't know. After you finish a show, what went well? Like, what's a kill? Does that make sense?
100%. Yes, definitely. And I mean, granted, I don't do straight up stand up, but ever since I did any presentations in any class, it didn't matter what it was on, if I knew what I was talking about or not. If I made people laugh at least 3 times, like that was a success to me.
3 was good. Okay.
Like that's the bare minimum.
So you're trying to
that's
get laughs.
probably yeah. Same with the shows. Like if certain lines, like I have this one line at the end of one of my newish songs is not out, and I played it like in a open mic for the first time. Yeah. And the line was just, I no longer smoke every day. And people started laughing, and I was like, yes, like it was perfect. But it's like placed in such a sad part. It's like, I'll be okay afterwards. It's fucking, yeah.
You're
it's
talking
good.
about weed though, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that's a very California specific joke. Like
Yeah,
in
right.
New York,
It
that
is.
wouldn't hit the same way. It's like, yeah, it's Tuesday. Like, cool.
Yeah.
I also have, when I played that song at another gig, they actually were recording it, and I said that line, and so you hear someone in the audience go, boo!
Oh,
I was
God.
like, right?
So there's a thing that happens. I was trying to flirt with this musician. Turns out she's a lesbian, so that was a waste of
That
everybody's
tends to
time.
happen.
But anyway, I was making a joke to her of like, you know, because when you're a comedian, people are always like, put this in your jokes. But do people say that to musicians? Put that in your song, Bridgette.
Anytime, I remember once when my grandma died, it was my first
She
year
said
of
it?
college. No, imagine.
words.
My mom says this to me like
music.
fucking all the time, but I like went to one of my friends and I was just like, my grandma just died. Like, I'm so sad. And she was like,
Yeah.
write about it. And I was like, I don't want to do that. Thank you very much. And I didn't. And that's okay.
That is okay. No one's forcing you to write about your grandma. R.I.P.
Yeah, people do that all the time, though. All the time.
She's
Or
like
like, I'll
amazing.
say a line and people
Yeah.
are like, that's about this person. Or like that. I wrote a song once.
It's like, let me interpret your material for you. Sorry, you keep going.
No, literally though.
Yeah.
It was funny. You know, our mutual friend, me and Lily's mutual friend Leah, once said to me, we were like hanging out, and the next day or 2 days later I had a show, and she had like I was like yelling at something, and she was like, Bridgette, you're being way too loud right now. And I was like, word. And that tends to happen.
Yeah.
I'm loud. And then within the next 2 days I wrote a song, and it ended up being like called Too Loud, and it wasn't about her or that situation or anything, but there was like a part of it that was like, am I being too loud? Do you blah blah blah? And our other friend Samara turns to Leah and goes, because she was there at the same time, she goes, this song's about you. And
Nice.
anytime I play, and I was like, you guys, it's fucking not. And they know it's not. But every time I play it and they're both there, we're all like, this fucking song's about
about you.
Leah. Like, wow, that's
Leah.
really shady of me.
I love this. I love that you've shared this, because I have this thought about jokes all the time, you know, because they're echoes. Like, it's an echo, right? Like, it was true. It really was from somebody saying too loud. That's not necessarily what it's about, but like that is where it came from. And it's like, it can be really harmful, because I've been subtweeted about, brutally subtweeted about.
And do you know it's you?
You know.
Like, you know?
Well, I have known. I'll tell you that. But
have never been subtweeted about, but I've been the subtweeter. And like in high school, I would like the subtweet, and then the person that it was about would like it.
Ooh,
and I would make another subtweet that was like, bold. I like your move.
Yeah,
Bold.
yeah. But no, I mean, look, I think art is amazing. Yeah, I'm pro art, people. I'm saying it. And I relate with that. I'm happy because I didn't know that was such a musician thing too. It happens to me all the time. I'm like, is somebody going to read this tweet and think I'm talking shit about them? And then it's like, literally nobody reads my tweets. How did I delude myself into thinking this was important? You were featured, though. This is interesting. I've been on reality TV myself, but you were on a reality TV show called A Baby Story, which I looked up because I would never watch a program like this because, you know, I do have some semblance of a life. It's a show where couples share their experiences during the final weeks of pregnancy, delivery, and the first few weeks of their baby's new life, which frankly, honestly, is depressing to me that the state of our society is that people would watch that because who cares? Just do it if you're so curious, damn it. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm just being an asshole. Now, Bridgette, you were on this show, season 1, episode 24. And
I was.
In what capacity? Well, surely you don't have a baby. I'm guessing as a baby.
Yes, I was born into the limelight, some may say. Thank you for laughing
I'm sorry,
at that.
Bridgette, I love you, but no one, I don't think anyone would say that.
Okay, well, try being me for a day.
She did.
She did. That's a good point.
I did, and that happened, and we move on, and we keep on going.
We're moving on. We're going.
Yeah, basically.
Am I in the friend group or what? Because we left that thread.
Yeah, we'll see. And so basically my mom was at a wedding. She's 8 months pregnant with me. And this lady comes up to her, one of the bridesmaids comes up to her and she's like, hey, how would you like to have your baby on national television? And I don't know if fucking TLC's national television.
Yeah, what an ask, though.
Yeah.
What an ask.
Well, yeah, and sorry to kill the momentum here on your story, but yeah, I'm kind of like, was she like, is it cool? Hey, is it cool, bride? Is it cool if I like recruit some people for my reality show I'm producing at your wedding? Is that like
I wonder.
Cross? Like, it's kind of an insane thing to do.
I didn't even think of that. Well, it was like the reception. Everyone was
a
partying.
reception.
Me finding guests for my.
Yeah.
That's like, but like truly, that's what it was like. She like goes up and she's like, hey, how'd you like to have your baby on TV? And my mom was like, who the hell are you? And then she explained TLC producer, blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
And she was kind of like, yeah, okay, why not? And I mean, granted, I don't really show up to like the last 10, like 8-10 minutes because, you know, I'm in the belly. But my older brother... Sorry, that was a direct.
Thanks for.
Sorry, that was a direct quote from the episode.
A lot of people were like, "Now are babies from a belly?" I'm not really clear on the baby thing.
But one of the first clips is my brother, who's just about to turn 2 years old. They actually had they threw his second birthday on there. They like recorded it.
The whole family in the
so fun. Literally, like they interviewed my dad's siblings.
But you watch it every year on your birthday, don't you?
Yes, we do watch it every year on my birthday.
You make your friends watch. I love that.
I do. I couldn't do it this year because we don't have a DVD player in my place, but I think everyone who was there has like seen it previously.
Okay.
You just don't own a DVD player?
No. I mean, who does anymore?
I do, but I'm 30.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're 30?
I'm 30. I'm going to be 31 next month.
Wow. Okay, Bridgette. Nothing wrong with being above 30. I don't know what you're
No, I'm shocked. 31 next month?
And I'm big on TikTok.
Yeah, I'm turning 31 next month, girl.
Oh my God. Well, the thing is, like, I'm 24, but like in COVID years, I'm still 21. Like, I don't feel like a fucking 20.
Right,
okay. Sorry, my 20s are being taken. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Okay, may I interject
how old do you
for a
think I
minute?
am?
Not that I was going to do anything.
How old do you think I am?
Like, based on hairline or like what? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm going to give you, thanks. I thought of it and I was like, no, this is too mean. But then I said it and no one really laughed, but that means a lot, Lily. I'm going to give you like a 32.
Okay, I'll take that. That's correct. Lily, go ahead.
Shut up.
No, I honestly thought flew out my head with the hairline comment. That was really funny. I laughed in my heart. Just didn't want to laugh in the mic. So it is okay.
Oh, thanks.
I
I'm nervous because it's not. I know you do, and you do. So I just like
young. An Uber driver a year ago told me I look 26, and I hold on to that every day.
That's nice.
I believe that.
Yeah,
I totally do.
I have great skin. Listen, Bridgette, you then went on to TikTok, an app for Gen Zs such as yourself, and you made a TikTok asking about other individuals who are babies on A Baby Story. And how did this add to your life? What happened because you did that? How many did that TikTok blow up, by the way?
It blew up.
Yeah.
It definitely blew up for someone who had never blown up before.
Congrats.
Like, so it was wild. I was like, posted it, and it would like all my other things that had like 20 views, 40 views. And then I like went away and I went back and suddenly my thing had like 100. And I was like, oh, wait, what? And then I was looking and it was 1,000 views. And then I refreshed and it was 7,000 views. And I refreshed and it was like 15,000 views. And I was like, what is happening? And a majority was people just being like, oh my God, I remember this show. I used to watch this with my mom. I would watch this when I was homesick. Like I used to be obsessed with babies when I was a kid.
I
like
watched
I was
that
a baby
show
kid.
and decided not to have kids, actually.
Yeah, no, and some people
I didn't
have.
really realize it was going to be such a thing.
Totally, because some of the stories, like my birth, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Was like super easy. We didn't have any complications. Like the biggest issue was my mom was upset I had red hair. Like that was truly the only thing. There's like a clip in it where she's like pushing. They don't like show anything, but she's like pushing. And the doctor goes, oh, I see the head. What's all this red hair? And my mom goes, no.
So your mom
she wanted a
Prince
blue-eyed
Charles.
brunette. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I like how you're like, oh, there's no complications. Oh, my mom did reject.
My mom hated me from the get-go.
My first experience with my mother was rejection.
I disappointed her. That's what I always say.
From that, I'm sure.
Really had to win her over.
Totally.
But wait, did you
Exactly.
get lunch with any of these people, or was just kind of comments like, oh my God, I was a baby, you're a baby, we're both babies?
I got a few people like duetted it and stitched it, and they were. I don't know if you know what that is. Are you familiar with TikTok?
Yeah, a duet is when
Your
you
age.
guys like sing a song together.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's beautiful.
Exactly, which I do on my TikTok.
Love together.
But I had a few people that were like, yes, I was on this. These are pictures, or like my sister was on this, and I was like in the place of my older brother, where they were pretty much the star of the show. But it's all about the baby at the end.
Well, look, it's been so good. I'm happy we talked about your musician journey. We'll definitely drop your Spotify link or SoundCloud. But yeah, super excited to have you on the show. And yes, people, I am getting confirmation here from our satellite dish array in Nevada that we do have one heck of an ep for you today. Our second situation of the day, AITA for asking my dad to move his band rehearsal to another part of the house. You're a musician, Bridgette. You'll know about bands. But first, people, it's AITA for not sharing my new mobile number with family. I've decided, at least for the time being, not to provide my new number to my family members to give myself a break while I work and study. I'm in an extremely busy time of year, having to work overtime 7 days a week, staying up very late most nights, while also trialing is what they meant. They wrote trailing. Trialing new medication that has serious side effects and not much of the intended effects, unfortunately. And I'm moving. Oh, God.
Jesus, that's a lot at once.
Currently, I live in a house away from my family members who live in various houses. Okay, that's generally how that works. Up to a 2-hour drive from each other. My family don't know about my current workload and other life commitments, but they are very much aware that I'm a very busy person. In the long term, I'm considering not sharing my new number, period, as I have had mostly bad experiences with key figures in my family. Such figures would not approve of the decision and would very much go out of their way to find me if they were aware of such a decision.
Oh.
They have a family's everything mentality. Hence, if I was to cut contact, I would need to do so discreetly or do something so horrid that they would cut contact with me. Shortly after changing my number, my more involved family members who call from time to time, usually one cell call every month or two, noticed my number was disconnected very quickly afterwards. They started emailing asking for my new number. The first email from Cheryl. Hi, OP. Tried calling and texting, but your number is disconnected. Please, can you give me your new number so I can keep in touch? A few days later, I received another email from Bob. Call Cheryl, he wrote simply. Classic man, 75 exclamation points on that. In the same week, Tim emails me to multiple emails. Cheryl and I have been trying to contact you, but your mobile is disconnected. If I don't hear from you by 3 p.m. tomorrow, we will be going to your workplace to search for you. 2, calling the police. 3, can you phone me urgently? Tim's mobile number. I decided not to respond to the first couple emails as I got this gut reaction of frustration as soon as I read it, so I decided to instead let myself cool off and think about it. After that last email, however, I caved and called them on a public payphone, stating that my new number isn't active yet. Lied. I have not responded to these emails beyond this phone call. I should also note that my family don't have a way of calling me in an emergency. While this might seem negligent, we live far enough apart that it's more than practical to call someone else who lives closer than me. My closest relative lives a 30-minute drive away, and all of them have multiple other relatives who either live in the same house or within a few suburbs blocks. I have never been called about any emergency. I personally consider the last email to cross the line. I'm furious about it. Am I the asshole for not sharing my new mobile phone number immediately? AITA.
Well, there's a lot happening here. I don't know. Okay, hold on. Did they say anything that just specifically happened, or is it like something that's been building up for a long time? Does OP just not want to talk to their family? All I'm seeing is that they're just busy.
Yeah, they're busy. They're adjusting to new medication that's apparently not working out for them right now.
Yeah.
They're not seeing any positives from it, just negatives. They didn't give a specific reason as to why they would, in theory, not want to. They just said that they genuinely don't get along with their family.
Yeah, that feels like a big thing for just being busy. Oh, I'm so busy, I don't want anyone to text me. Okay, put your phone on Do Not Disturb. Like, turn it off. Like,
yeah, I agree with that. This seems to me like OP just learned about boundaries and then is like, I'm going to have this as the boundary, but I'm not going to tell anyone. I'm going to do it in this weird way. And people are going to be confused, and I'm going to take it as a violation. And it's like, well, no, nobody is really doing anything unusual. They called you. Your number didn't go through, and then they tried to find another way to contact you. You ignored those other ways, and so they then became concerned that you were dead, which is normal.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
And literally, you didn't have to call anyone. All you had to do was respond to the email and say, hey, I'm working on getting a new phone. Whatever, lie as you please. I got no problem with the lie, but you got to respond to family. Otherwise, how are they supposed to know you're not dead?
Yeah, 'cause
Exactly.
It interested me. So sorry, Bridget. You can keep going.
No, I was just saying exactly. You go for it.
Yeah, because it just interested me that they were like, I can't believe that they would even think about calling the police or like showing up. I think workplace is a little bit of a jump, but calling the police, like wellness checks are a thing. Are they not? I wouldn't know about the stipulation like within a week span, but I know if my relative was calling me or like I couldn't find them, I'd absolutely want to try to get in contact.
Oh, I'm one of those people, if I don't hear from someone within like, let's say 2-3 hours of contacting them, I assume
You assume they're dead.
I assume they're dead. I do. Okay, maybe I'm crazy.
That's about you. but
Maybe that's
24
a
hours,
me
I think, is
problem.
starting to get like concerned. Close friends,
Yeah.
ghosting. I mean,
Yeah,
this email would be crazy, except it's exactly the context that I'm describing, which is that people are assuming that OP is in danger, that something bad has happened. Where else would they go? Well, they would go to her primary place of employment, which sounds psycho, but I'm like, no, that's what they would have to do. Where else are they going to look for you?
Yeah, I guess I'd call first. I'd call the work.
Yeah,
Going is a little.
You're right. That was
Going
weird.
is a little
They didn't need to
nuclear.
show
That's where
up.
my brain went.
that's very fair enough.
Top comment. Info. How close are you to Cheryl? If this is someone you talk to often, she suddenly can't reach you and you won't answer emails, they're concerned for your safety. It would have been easy for you to reach out and tell them you got a new number, but you will be difficult to get a hold of over the next few weeks because you're busy with school. If you suddenly go missing in action without telling anyone you touch base with regularly, you should tell them. YTA. I think that's fair.
Yeah, completely. Yeah, it doesn't say how much they talk to them. It doesn't say if they're even... It's just like aunt and uncle, I'm assuming. They weren't very specific with the relation. It's just family.
Yeah, I'm assuming uncles, cousins, Aunt Cheryl. Cheryl sounds like an aunt, even if it's a fake
Yeah,
name.
Cheryl is Aunt Cheryl. Come on.
Yeah, I think it can be scary to say this. You could also just text it and just be like, hey, I'm sorry, I'm not at a point where I want to communicate with you right now. I just need some space.
Because that's my thing. It's
Say
like they're acting like people are breaking down these boundaries when they never said it. They're like, oh, you didn't read my mind. Like,
Yeah.
I never reach out to you
Exactly.
guys. So,
Exactly.
like, why on earth should you, my family, contact me? Like, that's
Exactly.
it's crazy. It's an invisible one.
Hey,
That's wild.
it seems like they're in, it seems like they don't like this family. And yeah, I think you nailed that, Lily. You got to say your boundary, otherwise you can't be mad at someone for violating it, even if they are a monster. Because, I mean, how are they supposed to know? They're not magic.
Yeah, very true.
I think OP may not generally be the asshole, but for their way of handling this, I think they're trying. But AITA for not sharing my new mobile number with my family, I ultimately think we do agree on this. It is a YTA.
Yeah, I'd have to say it.
Guys, please rate, review, and subscribe. Join us on Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod. Over 130 bonus episodes, vibrant Discord community, lots of amazing people, call-in shows, happy hours, you name it, folks. I am at your sticker pack 2.0, the latest and greatest stickers. You know you want them. You know you need them. You know they're vinyl and waterproof. Here we go, folks. AITA for asking my dad to move his band rehearsal to another part of the house. My dad is part of this folk band that has rehearsals every once in a while at our house. Recently, they've had them pretty often since they have a concert coming up. They're coming over today for the 4th time this month or 2, and my parents didn't tell me until this morning. I, F19, have no problem with them rehearsing here. I usually just leave the house because of the noise for an hour or so until they're done. Except that I planned on using today to get some of my college assignments done. I asked my dad how long they'd be here for, and he told me 2 to 3 hours. Bummed me out since I didn't know what I'd do out for that long, so I tried coming up with a compromise. I asked my dad if there's any chance he could move the rehearsal to another spot in the house. They rehearsed in the living room, right in the middle of the house, and you can hear the music loudly from every room. Our house also has a garage, a basement, and a large backyard. Since it's chilly outside, I offered that they could move to the garage or the basement so it wouldn't be as loud for everyone else in the house. Me, my mom, our birds, and my nocturnal hamster. Wow.
Gotta bring up the hamster.
Gotta bring up the hamster. I mean,
Our hamster's nocturnal?
This one is.
Fair
This
enough.
ended up pissing both of my parents off, the thing to ask him to move. They started raising their voices and talking over me, telling me to zip it and deal with it or go somewhere else. It made me frustrated that they wouldn't even give me a chance to come up with a compromise, so I ended up raising my voice as well. My mom screamed and called me spoiled. My dad yelled at me to go for a walk or leave the house and do something else, but I told him I didn't know what I would do. We did end up on a compromise. I'd go to the library and do my work. I just don't know if I'm the asshole for even bringing up that the band rehearses somewhere else. AITA.
That sucks.
Really? What's
I mean, well, rehearsing in the middle of the living room, I think, is a bold thing regardless if it's a folk band or not, because that has let's think about a band. Let's imagine a band, you guys. We got
nature of the band.
Guitars, we
Yes.
got drums. Let's say
Sure.
that those guitars are hooked up to amps.
Yeah.
If they're hooked up to amps, then you're going to have...
Isn't folk kind of quiet though?
It does not necessarily, because I feel like also you
Yeah.
may have to deal with a more range of instruments. Like folk, you can
Exactly.
throw in a banjo, you can throw in a
What?
didgeridoo.
One time I went
Mumford
to
and
a
Sons.
folk concert
Oh,
and I
man.
was like talking to my friend and then people were like, you got to be quiet. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't even realize that. Because at EDM show, you can yell and nobody can hear you anyway. 'Cause it's so
Oh
loud.
yeah, you
I
need
didn't
to.
realize.
Yeah, you need to sit quiet. I was once at a concert and the artist was like, it was one of my favorite artists, Passenger, and he was like, "Can everyone please like be quiet for this song? Like, I just want to say something about it, blah blah." And someone yells like, "I love you," and he's like, "Okay, got it." And then someone else is like, "I love you," and he's like, "Okay, now be quiet." And they go, "I love you," and I just went, "Shut the fuck up!"
Nice. Wait, is
He was
Passenger
like-
Let Her Go?
Yeah, yeah.
I've heard
Exactly.
that song out a couple hundred times.
He's great with his other music as well. Then he was like, well, that never happens. But yeah, no, I think in a living room is really unnecessary. Are you telling me that they come in like they rehearse once a week, they say?
Not even
Rehearsal's
once a
pretty
week.
often.
That's where I starting to ding OP already.
Yeah.
OP trying to picture paint on us. They're trying to make it seem like it's weekly, but they couldn't even bring themselves to say it. They're coming over today for the 4th time this month or 2. So over how long? So they're not even coming over weekly. That's what that tells me. Weekly band rehearsal? That's legal. They got a concert coming up. Doesn't sound like it's a regular thing. So what? They're in the living room because the living room is probably comfortable.
Well, yeah, but you can, I think, do they go to other places to rehearse? Is that,
Well, we
or
don't
is this like
know,
the
but
only
why-
place?
Why? Just because OP wants to study, which by the way takes one person going one place instead of 5 people going or whatever, 4. And by the way, all our suggestions are acoustically nightmares. Garage, awful. Basement,
Oh.
horrific. Living room, that's got a couch in there. That's going to absorb a lot of the early vibrations. It's going to give you a much cleaner tone. Come on, meet me, Bridget.
I see you, I hear you, you're valid, but like noise wise, like I would fucking hate listening. As a musician, I hate
Yeah.
listening to music.
course,
But when I
no,
don't want to listen to it, like I mean being fucking 19, like I just want to be in my own house.
Yeah, but it's not
and-
your house. You're
Yeah, but
19.
You're 19. You're in school. So like
You're in
yeah, it is
school,
your
but
house.
It's your dad's house too. It's his house that he pays for, and he's with his little band. And honestly, they suck. I can just tell they suck.
Oh,
band.
exactly.
They
That's the
suck.
thing.
They're pretending they don't suck, and they're vulnerable also. Let me point this out. They're vulnerable because this is a big deal for them, this little concert. It's not like you, Bridgette. You're doing this all the time. These guys, they're like 45 and they're in their shitty band and whatever. They do have one song that's like okay, but the bridge fucking sucks. And honestly, the verses suck and the chorus is okay.
They're all wearing Ron John Surf Shop.
Exactly. Like they were a bowling team and then they're like, let's do the band instead. You know, like they suck. And then it's like her energy is very negative. It's just like your band is annoying. That's the subtext here. And like they're not even ready for that right now. They need to be told they rock because they're not even confident in this fully. And I think she needs to buzz off. Like this is kind of a pretty clear equation here. It's like you want 4 people to move all their shit, you know. It's like, no, why don't you move your butt to the library? Bye.
But then the birds and the hamster.
Oh, give me a break. The birds and the hamster. They'll be fine.
I did think that was a really funny ad. I loved that 19-year-old OP was like, I know what's going to get him on my side. I got
the
hamsters.
nocturnal hamster.
I got birds.
She also cited her mom as a victim of this. And guess what? Mom ripped her a new one.
That's true. And with mom not agreeing. But like, the only thing that bugs me is like, I don't know. I guess if mom isn't upset with it, because they are like taking up a whole space in arguably like the middle of the house. Like it probably is.
2 to 3 hours. That's for a rehearsal in your own home once a week.
For a band not good.
Oh my God, Bridgette, you're being such a musician diva right now. Not every band is good, by the way. Some have to be shitty for the ones, you know?
That's
really
beautiful.
Yeah,
that's
I know,
so
right?
true.
I'm just curious as to why were they screaming? Why were they yelling? That's
so
the only
upset?
thing. It's not like it's not
Yeah.
enough for me to be like, OP was completely okay, but it's just, why do things always seem to devolve into a screaming match in the house? That's speculation, but you know what I'm getting at.
Okay, I guess I would say I'm struggling to ding because, like I said, I think that, first of all, there was a vulnerability here on the part of the band. I think OP was also being a little obtuse. It's like there are numerous people here. It's fucking during the rehearsal. And you have the audacity to come in and tell these minimum of 4, but as many as 6 men to go all move all their shit in the middle of their rehearsal because one person is vaguely inconvenienced. And then, yes, dad did raise his voice, which isn't ideal. But then OP yelled back. And it's like, no, you are being an asshole. You are.
You got me there with them. Like, I didn't fully imagine the scenario with them, like, being mid-song, already fully set up. And then she's coming in like, hey, can you, like, not do this? Go somewhere else, blah, blah, blah. Okay. She's kind of in the wrong in that situation. Maybe if she were to say, like, in the future, do you think you could maybe go to the basement or, like, I don't know, because you can make a basement. That's a dream rehearsal space. Sure. Are you kidding me? Put a fucking couch down there. Put some sound you can put foam on the walls. There you go. Like, talk about it being a acoustically terrible space. Like, make it a good one and, like, keep things down there permanently. I think that would be a good compromise for the future, but I don't think I was taking into consideration that this was all happening, like, in the moment during rehearsal. Like, mid-song. I would be pissed if someone rolled into my rehearsal and was like, hey, can you guys, like, not? I'd be like, suck my ass. Like, don't tell me what to do. That's sorry. Really in the AITA headspace. Yeah, shit. All right, you kind of changed. Oh yeah, a little bit. I think I rolled this one back. AITA for asking my dad to move his band rehearsal to another part of the house. I think I brought everyone on board for this. This is a whopping YTA. Yeah, but it's not fair that she was being yelled at. I think that's really aggressive.
Well, they raise their voices, but, like, keep in mind, it's like you are interrupting the rehearsal. I can definitely understand someone being like, "Hey, honey." Yeah, no, we're not doing that. I think go to the library. Started there.
Yeah, I don't know why the mom got involved. It's a little, well, maybe she got the mom into it.
Because she was being a fucking brat. What kind of brat does this? Oh, guys, can you all move? Oh, it's like, dude, we're in the middle of our shitty song, number 7, okay?
Yeah.
Like, Gary just had a relapse. He's drinking again. But you know what? We got to have this fucking concert at the fucking... Yeah, exactly.
Well, why can't they rehearse at Gary's house?
VFW, you know, it's like some piece of shit venue. There's going to be 13,
nowhere else?
like, upset people at the show.
What's that place with like the little hats?
Yeah.
It's like
Elks
VFW
Club,
something. I forget. Yeah, Alex. Yeah.
They have a show at Whiskey A Go Go. It's pay to play, but
Whiskey A Go Go. We're paying.
they've only
$30.
sold 10 tickets.
We sold 10 tickets, guys. It's
They
2
need
drink
to
minimum.
sell
By the way,
100.
tell your friend it's 2 drink minimum because they got really mad last time. Anyway, and by the way, you should support your husband in his shitty band. I think you should. It's
I guess.
important.
Not my
men-
husband.
What's that?
Not my husband.
Or your
I'm gonna-
boyfriend or whatever, your girlfriend or whatever. Like, you got to support people even if their band sucks or their comedy sucks.
No,
you
I think
know?
she was
Your
saying
partner.
she can't support her
I
partner's
wouldn't.
shitty band.
If it was a shitty band, I would tell them.
Oh, yeah. Well, you couldn't marry a shitty musician, right?
Yeah.
How could you?
Yeah.
If they're like, if you love it, let it go. You'd be like, I can't.
Okay.
I can't love that.
That was a really
Let it go.
interesting
How
one
does
to
it go?
pull in.
Can you sing it? Because I can't really
Well, you
remember how it
only
goes.
need the light when it's burning low. You might get copyrighted.
Ooh, I like your version. It sounded more like happy. That's nice.
Because that's another thing I love about your music is that it is sad, but
It sounds happy.
Yeah, I do love juxtaposition. I am a sucker
Thank
for
you.
it. Like,
I Can't Feel Anything at All.
Yes.
As one of my songs. And it's just like, it's my goofy yeehaw 2020 COVID baby. I love that shit.
it's great.
Love it.
Thank you.
We'll put your top song in the description.
That is the top song.
That's your banger.
Yep, that's about it. That's the banger.
And do you always play? Let me tell you something. I don't like when I go see a band and they don't play the hits. Play the fucking
Oh, I play,
hits.
yeah.
Yes.
I've
Play
been playing the
fucking
hits lately.
hits.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, I try to have, like, a new song at all my shows, and currently all my shows are, like, mostly new material, but I pull out I Can't Feel Anything at All. Like, I'll pull out I always end on the same song because it's one of my favorites. Like, I keep the classics, keep the fan favorites.
That's nice. You anchor it in.
Yeah, I saw. Who did I see? I don't know. I've seen bands before, and I'm like, you're not gonna play the hit. What are you doing? I know who it was. Oh my God, this is so. You guys, nobody's gonna get this reference. It was Billy Gilman. You guys know who Billy Gilman is?
I do not.
What?
He was a country star. He has a one-hit wonder. It's called One Voice. One voice was heard. It's like a shitty country song. Nobody cared about it, really. Whatever. It was a one-hit wonder. And we would always go to the school funk. Do you guys know Decca? Does anybody know Decca out there?
What
I know
in
that
the
name.
world are
It
you
was like a
talking
business. It was like a business club in high school that people did.
about? Oh, no.
Anyway, they would always do a big charity event, and every year was Billy Gilman was the headliner. I was like, enough with the Billy Gilman. And the first year he played One Voice, and I was like, that's it. That's the hit. Play the hits, baby. But then the second year he played his new shit, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Where's the hit? Play your hit.
Play the one hit you got.
Play the one hit you got. Bridgette, is that reasonable?
No, you're right. You're right. I mean, I'm pretty sure Harry Styles still does What Makes You Beautiful.
Absolutely. I like some of his new
Sorry,
shit.
is that a little young for you? I'm sorry.
I don't really like most of this. I like Sign of the Times. That was a good one. That's a nice ballad there.
It was a nice debut. It was a good. It was
good.
a.
Speaking of
Correct,
hairline, though,
yeah.
do you think he wears a wig?
Do you wear wigs? Have you worn wigs? I think Harry Styles wears wigs.
Have you seen that
I
pic,
do.
Danny?
I haven't.
He's flipping his hair on stage, and it looks like a wig is fully lifting off of his head.
Well, his hair definitely is like longer in
Yeah.
the front because he does have a receding hairline. Like we knew that when he had long hair, we could see it. When he'd pull it up, we're like,
Right.
oh shit, like, hey buddy.
Women find this guy attractive though, this Harry Styles here?
Yeah, because he's
I don't personally.
fine. That's bold.
I mean, he's pretty
you say it's bold that I don't find him attractive?
I think that's really brave of you to admit to yourself. I do.
No, I don't
As
think
someone
he's
who loves
cute.
the status
I
quo.
don't think he's cute.
I'm not into
I
him
think he's
personally.
very strange looking.
No. But I don't think you guys you guys
So-
weren't there in the fucking trenches. Were you there in the
wasn't.
trenches?
I fully wasn't. I was too old for One Direction.
Oh, he
but
looks good in this picture.
I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah, you are.
I'm about like the ugly hot. I'm definitely about it, but Harry Styles does not fall into that category for me. He looks like 2D from Gorillaz, the animated band.
You weren't there in 2012.
Like, that's the trenches I was in, baby.
That's funny.
I mean,
No,
I get
was-
it. I can see how somebody would be into that, but I don't know. It was very, very strange looking. He looks more like, you know what he looks like? He looks like a Steve Buscemi. That's kind of.
Oh,
his
Steve
energy to me.
Buscemi's hot.
Yeah, he's hot. Ironically, I
Steve
find Steve
Buscemi
Buscemi
is
very
so
hot.
You know, Steve Buscemi fucking
Parting
was
glances.
at 9/11.
Yes, he was. He
Steve
was a
Buscemi.
volunteer
I always,
firefighter.
for some reason,
Wow.
whenever I talk about that, I always say that
Not
Steve
now.
Buscemi fought in 9/11 as if 9/11 was a war.
Yeah, as if it was a war.
But no, he was there. He's
He's
talking
not
about
hot
in the
now.
trenches. Yes,
But
he is.
Okay, Bridget, she thinks he's hot now. I think he's hot when he was younger. Google him in Parting Glances.
Okay.
Very hot.
Wait, Bridget, I got one more other. Now I'm keeping you as musician complaint line, but I like this TikTok song on there. This guy wrote this TikTok song, and it was with a ukulele, by the way. And it was about whatever. It was like 35 seconds. And I was like, this is a banger, you know? And then he like produced it. And it's so bad. I was like,
Never.
oh, you ruined it. You ruined the whole thing, bro. And I kind of want to write him a letter and be like, you need to redo this, or like, send me the multi-tracks. I'll do this. But like, you really botched this.
That sucks. Yeah, no, there was a song that went viral recently. There was I'm wearing his boxers. I'm being the good wife. I don't know if you
So I'm going to tell you, this one is Adderall and Starbucks. Have you heard it?
No.
It's like,
I literally have a song. I have a song called Coffee and Vyvanse. So
wow, that's very close. Yeah.
I have not heard
It's
that.
like
This is
LA
me saying
girls
on
like
the
Adderall
record.
and Starbucks. I don't know.
That's funny.
It's like super folksy, obviously.
Vyvanse, time released. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on Adderall, unfortunately.
But what is with that? And I mean, I think we need to create a kind of customer support line, because some of these produced songs, they really botch it, and I'm like, this is so corny. What are you doing?
Yeah. I think the reason that a lot of those things go viral is that people like the original
Yes,
thing.
I'm
And then
like-
once you go different from it, it's like, why would you do that at all? Regardless if it's like better or not.
No, it's so corny what they did with it. Ugh, it
But-
makes me sick.
Is it just too produced?
No, it's poorly produced. I think it sounds like a generic pop song. I'm like, all these sounds are generic. You didn't stick with the uke, like run with that theme, like you know. I mean, we all saw the opposite of that, right? A Sieb remix of the LA song. How's it go? What's that guy's name? Mike Posner.
What about Mike Posner?
What's
If
the
I
Mike?
could write you a song and make you fall in love.
No. You're on. That's the so Posner was a one-hit wonder with that song.
Cooler Than Me. Yeah.
With Cooler Than Me. And then he put out a second album that was all heartfelt and country and folksy. And everyone was like, kill yourself, nobody cares.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then,
he went through a hard time. He walked across the U.S.
And then, though, Sieb, which is some DJ, which according to you isn't even a real musician.
I never said that. I never said that.
I'm being a terrorist. According to Bridgette Blank, DJs are all assholes. But Sieb remixed
that I
the
could have
song,
said.
which was called I Took a Pill in Ibiza.
Oh.
And it became a ungodly, unprecedented, billion-plus, Spotify plays song. He produced it and made it a banger. I took a pill in Ibiza.
Yes, I know that song. I know that song.
Avicii think I was cool.
But did he sample that, or was
fucking lifted the whole Vokes and then added his own beat?
Oh, I was so under the impression that was like the only version of the song.
No, you got to go listen to the Posner original. It actually slaps. I listened to it.
I'm sure it does. He's great. He's a good guy. He seems like a good guy. I wish nothing but the best for Mike Posner. He recently walked all across the U.S.
Did he?
Yes, he walked across the U.S. Well, he started in like on the Atlantic Ocean with his feet in the ocean in like New York or some shit, and then he fully like walked across. He had people following him and stuff. And then he got bit by a snake.
Yeah, it says here he walked 1,800 miles, bit by a baby rattlesnake in Colorado.
So then he like had all the but like it's a fucking rattlesnake,
the more
dog.
deadly, the smaller the critter, the more deadly the venom. That's a little Arizona fact. Take that home, chew on it. You get stung by a small scorpion, you better go to the ER. But if it's a big scorpion, you're fine.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Older people are weaker. That's what you're saying right then. All right, and
wow, Bridgette Blank actually says that every DJ is a murderer.
Danny Vega hates old people.
Hey,
Take that, TMZ.
It's not true, Bridgette. I've got in trouble for defending the old people on this podcast, so you don't even know what you're talking about.
Respect your elders.
I think they're old, what are they going to do? Listen, guys, please rate, review, subscribe, join us on Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod. And by the way, we're complaining about musicians and stuff. I actually encourage people to be a Karen on the Patreon. I say, you let me know if there's any issues. I will solve those issues for you. Pretty reasonable. What do you think, Bridgette?
I think that's nice. I think that's good. Yeah, I mean, I'm currently unemployed, so like maybe once I get a job, then I will. But I will write a note to myself as soon as I'm employed. I'll sign up for a little $5 a month. Is that how it goes?
You're the best.
I'm on the $5 a month plan.
Nice.
Come on to the Patreon.
A little Abe Lincoln,
There we go. All right, we're gonna wrap things up here. AITA. for getting embroiled in my best friend's marriage scandal. And then this person wrote tags. I don't know why. We don't have a content management system, but I'm just going to read their tags just because I was fascinated that they did this. They wrote infidelity, divorce, social media bullying, mental and emotional abuse, and friendship loss. So it's almost like trigger warnings.
Oh my God, yeah. This is a wild. This is a listener submission.
And it's long too. So
I
just
love it.
sit back, relax, put your seat back a little farther and if you're driving right now.
What does
Just
embroiled
really
mean?
Get in there. Embroiled is kind of like involved in hot
That's
water.
what I thought. Okay, thank you. That's
Embroiled involves someone deeply in an argument, conflict, or difficult situation.
what I thought. Interesting.
My best friend and I have been besties since we were 8. We're now 40. If you do the math, that's over 20 years of sticky situations. My best friend was massively unhappy in her marriage. 20 years have gone by and her husband has mentally and emotionally abused her for every single moment of those 20 years. Really? Every single moment? I don't know about that. Already picture painting. Nothing could console her and nothing could force her to leave either. It was a weird scenario where she was stuck in a cycle of abuse and refused to get up on her feet and go. She has options. She makes $200K a year and manages everything on her own anyway. The kids, the household, the dog, her job, the bills, everything. Did I also mention she's a smoke show? Whatever reason, she just wouldn't leave. Instead, she chose to live in misery. Subsequently, her husband was unhappy. He was a drunken mess, an alcoholic who cheated as often as he could and turned everyone my bestie knew against her. The HOA called often because he would pass out in neighbors' yards and urinate in public when he was drunk. This man is not innocent. My bestie also knew about his escapades, and still she stuck it out. For the last 4 years, bestie has been cheating on him with the same guy. This third wheel, Dick, lived 4 states over, and we knew him from high school. Funny enough, I've never liked Dick, but my bestie always did. Dick always had a crush on my bestie and flirted with her often behind his GF's back. Fast forward to 40, and they're having an affair behind my bestie's back. I don't understand.
That was my bad. I should have cut that bit out.
Okay, they were just repeating.
I thought he was having an affair with the bestie, not behind the bestie's back. I knew, but I didn't say anything to anyone. After all, her husband had countless flings. My bestie was in love with Dick. I was as supportive and as present as I could be on the matter, but I also kept my distance because technically it wasn't any of my business. Honestly, I was just happy to see her happy. I had the highest hopes that she would actually leave her husband and go be with the person who made her smile. I was starting to actually see the person I used to know before years of mental and emotional abuse come back. However, whenever the divorce talk came up, she still never budged. Unfortunately, Dick was expecting her to leave as well. Dick expected it so much he packed up, left his kids and his life, and moved to our state.
Ooh.
Huh.
What a move.
What a move.
Wow.
He just uprooted and left his home without so much of a conversation without bestie. He was then upset to find out my bestie was struggling to leave her husband and wasn't making plans for divorce. Dick hung in there for 8 months before he started seeing his ex from high school. I might add, the same ex from high school. He would flirt with my bestie behind her back. Okay, so there was like an affair on an affair. It was like high school all over again, and none of this was unicorns and rainbows. Guys, we're not even halfway through here, so just strap in. It's going to be okay. My best friend was heartbroken when he broke it off. It took months of breaking down emotionally and hurting to get over the situation. The heartbreak was so bad it was making her ill. She would hide from her husband and cry. She knew all the details of his new relationship, and she was watching it all on social media. She was in a dark hole that together we clawed her out of. My best advice was to block Dick and his girlfriend on all social media, no contact, da-da-da-da-da. When Dick asked her to sneak out and go see him behind his new girlfriend's back, I told her not to go, not to respond to his phone calls, texts, messages, stop reaching out first, with paragraphs of how her day went and asking to see him. Once she stopped, she could figure out what she wanted. She could work on her marriage or get a divorce, the latter of which they both seemed to want. Either way, just because she wasn't with Dick did not mean she had to stay with her husband. After the kids are older, after all, the kids are older, and they'd be fine, and I was supportive, and I was present, and I tried to be as impartial as possible while she sorted out what she needed. Honestly, though, I dislike both Dick and the husband. I kind of hope she would drop them both and move on. Fast forward, months go by, no contact between bestie, Dick. She was healing, therapy, no divorce yet, but the discussion had been brought up a lot. Neither party was happy, and they hadn't been in a long time. But then I noticed malicious posts on Facebook from Dick's girlfriend stalking my bestie, and so was he, commenting on all her pics, her posts, leaving messages in public. The GF, on the other hand, was leaving horrible threats and cyberbullying on her pages. I'd had enough. I'd sat silent for years. I dried all the tears, went through all the pain, and endured it all right behind her. I'd kept the secret, hope for the best, and hit every ugly bump along the way right with her. So in a roundabout way, I confronted the people posting with a not so obvious but clear communication that it looked bad on both parts and they should stop. The cyberbullying was malicious, tasteless, and they could be blocked or prosecuted. Well, the GF, in some sort of self-righteous binge, posted publicly and tagged my best friend in it for all to see that she had proof my bestie had cheated on her husband. She reached out to her husband and told him everything she supposedly knew. The bullying spiraled, and this has now caused an already rocky marriage to fall into divorce. Everyone, I mean everyone, from the bestie to the GF to Dick to the husband, came after me. I was called everything from human waste to garbage. That's not really that big of a range.
That's the same thing.
They're pretty similar, actually.
Human garbage
been there, done
is
that.
human
That was
garbage.
my
is
nickname in
garbage.
high school.
Similar.
Like, come on.
For causing the demise of my best friend's marriage simply because I told the GF it was classed as bullying and borderline illegal. The husband came after me and called me human waste and garbage. We got it. And that I was a piece of crap. Same thing. And that I had set the whole thing up. I gave him a piece of my mind because he's not perfect either. Yeah, really? This whole cheating thing started when he started joining singles groups, accepting nudes, and meeting other women. For the last 15 years, my bestie has suffered narcissistic abuse and gaslighting at his hands. And I let him know. He blamed me for the whole thing, claimed I was the one. Totally not true. I think they're both jerks, husband and the BF. Not to mention, this is a situation with over 20-some years in the making. Oh my God. Oh God, this still has like 3 paragraphs. Where is this even going?
Oh, Pete, how
I'm
long have you been holding on to this one?
I'm so intrigued.
All right, we'll finish. Here we go. Jesus, man. I think they're both jerks, husband and the BF. Not to mention, this situation 20 years in the making. Dick has chased bestie since we were junior high. Behind the on and off GF's back. And that, if he had an ounce of intelligence, they're both mad about something. If they could do basic math, he could put 2 and 2 together. And it would add up to the fact that bestie actually cut it off and chose her husband. Not the best argument. I agree. No one likes to be cheated on. I also mentioned how I would not tolerate being called names and talked to that way. I could only take responsibility for telling the GF off. He and my bestie actually ruined their own marriage, and if he had just been an actual husband, he might still have a wife.
Ooh.
Dick had things to say to me about the telling his girlfriend off, and I said something back. I asked him what kind of man sticks around to ruin something that he isn't even going to have. Not to mention, is that how he picks up women? By running other women down to forget them and telling all the dirty laundry? Did he forget he himself cut into an almost 20-year-long marriage? Why did he have to be so ugly and malicious when he had moved on anyway and supposedly reunited with the love of his life? Why couldn't he have just let her be? Because she hadn't spoken to him for 6 months. She was not acknowledging his post and bullying, so he had to sick his dog on her too? Where did the dog come into this, OP? Why he felt the need to stalk her and run her down when he didn't succeed in ruining the marriage. And I told him this whole thing was senseless and what he had done had an effect on my bestie. He'd not only broken her heart, but did he really have to come for a pound of flesh too? There was no need to even comment on a single post, and that if he and his GF were happy, they wouldn't feel the need to ruin someone else's life. He blamed me for the entire thing, and instead of owning a single thing, he called me trash. How many times? They really are. I'm getting tired. They need to stop calling you trash. It's fucking annoying.
Yeah.
Me. That none of it was my business. I told him I was reporting the thing to the police as cyberbullying, and I would see to it that my bestie sued him for every penny he owed her, which is her entire pension of $16K.
Oh.
The GF approached me and I told her the truth. That the same week Dick had moved in with her, he was still seeing my bestie. This is straight out of high school because the exact same thing happened in high school.
You
my
are
God.
all 40. You were all 40 years old.
That's the best part about this. I love it. I love it.
You were
I
all
want to
40.
not believe it. Dick was with her then and chasing my bestie, that instead of being a jerk to the other woman who was not even present at the time and had not been present for 6 whole months, she should be checking her man who is clearly still hung up, that she looks stupid out here in social media bullying someone just to ruin their life and mess up an already messed up marriage. She couldn't have posted it all publicly and she could be charged. She said something about accountability and how my bestie needed to pay. I said, pay for what? You don't even know. Also, you might want to watch it if you want to bring up some old stuff. 25 years ago, when we were all working together, she was cheating on Dick with our manager. Dick was chasing away my newlywed bestie, and Dick left out of state because the GF had cheated on him, married, and had kids with a very unhappy person. So she might want to watch who she judges.
Oh my God.
Either way, everyone is mad at me. Even my best friend. The husband is blasting her on social media and harassing all her mutual friends and her family at all hours of the night. Somehow this whole thing is my fault and I wasn't even the one incapable of keeping my body parts in my clothing. AITA.
OP, I'm mad at you. I'm mad at you too.
And the thing is, me too, and I wouldn't be mad if this was like half the length. I think the fact that it was so long and they kept on repeating themselves fucking over and over and over again made me dislike them. There was a lot that just happened.
Oh my God.
And then at the end, like, I don't know, even though I'm the only one incapable of keeping my body parts in my clothing, what does that even have to...
Literally.
What is
Calm
that?
down.
Come on.
Oh, I'm better than you. I don't have sex with other people. Calm down.
I never fuck. I'm better than you. But...
Virgin. I'm just kidding. That's stupid. Virginity is a social construct. Anyway, I like that they called the other guy Dick. I think it's funny. I do think there is an underlying... This friend, we don't know their gender. We don't know if they have a significant other or what.
This feels heteronormative to me. I don't think...
Yeah, okay, I see you. I hear you. I think OP is in love with the original person.
You think OP is in love?
I do, solely from the line with her bestie. With their bestie.
Okay. That's a hot take, Bridgette.
I think so. I don't know why. Like, why else would you get this fucking involved?
I did get that vibe a little bit in the beginning. Solely,
but... And the only thing that is coming for me is the line, funny enough, I've never liked Dick, but my bestie always did. Like, funny. There's some underlying, like, okay. You didn't just call him that to, like, call him Dick the whole time. Like, this was... I think it's subliminal.
I had assumed she called him that just because she wasn't really a fan of this guy. That's why I didn't catch what you caught. But I do get a little bit what you're saying about why would we get the conceptualization of like ride or die friendships. Yeah. People you do anything for.
Sure.
But
yeah, that's true.
Why is she this involved? Why is she this involved?
Yeah, friends since 8 years old, like even friends I've had since I was, I don't think I've had any friends since I was 8, but since I was like 12, like I would never get this involved. I would not at all. Even if, oh my God, that was so long. Hold on. I'm trying to just like go back and find something.
Here's my hot take.
Please.
All these people basically have the same problem. Instead of thinking about themselves and how they're responsible for what's happening in their life, they are focused on everybody else. OP is fixated on all this drama that truly has nothing to do with her and she doesn't need to muck around in. The best friend is basically living these two lives, but it's like, you don't even have one life. You're trying to live two, but then you're like, you're just not focused on yourself. You're focused on other things, right? And it's pretty much true across the board. Like, none of these are good relationships. None. Yeah. There's no good relationships in this because nobody can really plausibly be even seen as healthy here, including OP. I'm sorry, OP. I appreciate this mish. But, like, what are you guys doing? This sounds like it was written by a child, like someone who's young, because it's like, who fucking cares?
Oh, yeah. I don't believe for a second that OP is 40, because when you say this is straight out of high school, it is. Like, you have to be. I kind of
do, though. I think it's possible. Some people don't ever, like, take a second.
Change.
Exactly. They're like,
that's
what the
wild.
fuck am I doing here? You know? And, like, and that's why I don't like a lot of the trauma talk and stuff, because it can, I think, function as, like, this kind of nebulous antagonistic thing where it's like she's suffering from abuse, perpetual abuse, constant abuse, and it's like, okay, well, you're saying it, so she's aware of it.
Yeah.
So like, do something and leave, because the reality is that a lot of people are comfortable in such a relationship. They're not trapped. They are free to go. She's free to go. She has a friend who's trying to help her. She's free to leave the home. No, she is choosing to stay in that relationship. And so, yeah, he's a toxic piece of shit alcoholic, fine. But, like, you don't get to just label him a narcissistic abuser and then, no, there's none of the onus is on you. It's like, no, you're choosing to stay in this relationship, and you have for years.
Because it's like, did we see any proof of him having narcissistic behavior? I just saw cheating. I saw doo-doo garbage behavior, but I didn't see, like, narking, so to speak.
Talk about garbage.
Well, it's like, what do you want about when you get into all these terms? Like, for me, when I've gone down this route, it's like trying to understand eventually, admittedly at first part of it is being like them, because that's what you want to do when you're done with a relationship, is blame somebody else. But in the end, it's got to roll back onto you, because they don't matter anymore. It's about you and your shitty life. So you have to learn from whoever it is you were with. Like, why did you find it acceptable to date a narcissistic alcoholic for 10 years? Why did you do that? Why did you do that? Now, why did he do what he did?
Get your friend and get out of there. Like, if you care that much, get your friend and get out of there.
You don't spend all this time being like, am I really this bad for being annoying and caring about my friend? Because this isn't care.
Like, no, you're all terrible.
Anything.
This isn't productive.
Yes, exactly.
This is a lose. Everybody here is losing and is a loser. Nobody here
Everyone
is living
sucks.
a good life.
Yeah, this
This is a classic. Everyone sucks.
Classic ESH.
I mean, OP, I thank you for writing and really writing this novel here. But like, you know, in the end, this kind of minutia of your whole life, I feel like you're very ingrained in these patterns because they're 20 years long, these things. But like, you don't have to live like this. I think you're all addicted to the drama of this. That's another component. It's very exciting. There's a lot of drama here.
Oh, as an outsider, I'm having an amazing time. I would watch this over and over, and every twist and turn I would not see coming.
Do you know what this really reads to me? OP and this group of people have never left their hometown.
Oh, yeah.
1,000,000%. I'm all in.
Yeah.
Like they have,
on
and that hometown has nothing. It has the bad bowling alley that hasn't been updated, where the dads are playing.
That's why we're doing
that's
the
where
band
the dad's
now.
bowling,
That bowling
league
alley
is.
sucks.
It has
Bowling
the
alley
bowling
sucks.
alley. Like it has one highway leaving it. It has a lot of farms. I'm just describing where I'm from, actually.
Oh, I thought you were
But,
saying Casa Grande. I was like, hey, where are you coming from my town? Only I can do that.
no, absolutely. I'm not going to come for Arizona.
Thank you.
I've been to Sedona. I like it.
Sedona's a banger. I mean, I actually saw a movie about, it's called The Banshees of Inisherin, which I love, by the way. And it's about these two best friends on an island. And one of them's like, don't talk to me anymore. And he's like, why? And he's like, because I don't want you to talk to me. And that's it. There's no other reason. That's the whole premise of the movie. Obviously, I live for a movie like this. This is like my exact kind of thing, like tiny interpersonal drama. But a big thing in the movie is that they're on a small island. And I think this smallness can be very stifling to personal growth and to the reality that none of these fucking people matter. Like, I get that they matter to you, but like, obviously, OP, how is this good for anybody? Your involvement is not helpful. It's not helpful to you. It's not helpful to your OP. You're spinning your wheels on this. You're getting some kind of moral high ground. Oh, I'm better than this situation, but you're not. Ooh. You're not. You're not improving it. You're mucking around in it. You're just another pig in the mud.
Yeah. Somehow
You
this
might as
whole
well
thing is
fuck
my
someone.
fault.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Fuck it. You know? Nobody's being helped by any of this.
Get a little crazy, get a little stupid.
I love this thing you say. I might have to steal this from you, Bridget. What is it? It's like, I hear you, I see you, you're valid.
I see you, I hear you, you're valid.
That's good.
Thanks. I like saying that. Sometimes I say it seriously. Sometimes I say it as a joke because it can't. Like when I am having serious conversations, I always do say it. Like, I see you, I hear you, you're valid.
I love it. Because people do want to be seen and heard, not just heard.
And told they're valid.
And told they're valid. Yeah, and people, and you can be valid, but then also be wrong too.
Be
It's
the
same
asshole.
thing. Yeah, absolutely. Nonetheless, I think Bridget nailed this already. AITA for getting embroiled in my best friend's marriage scandal. I think this is a nuclear, like literally drop a nuclear bomb on this small town. ESH.
Yeah.
OP, just get the fuck out of this thing. Just find something else to do.
A hobby.
Yeah.
Get
Go
other
bowling at the bad
friends.
bowling alley.
Bowling, get other friends. Start a band. Fuck it. Piss off your daughter.
Go crazy.
You're 40.
Confess your feelings to your friend.
There we go. Yeah, you might as well at this point.
I think you could
See
be
what
onto
happens.
something with that, but there's not enough info to really.
Yeah.
I
to really
know.
sell
I
it.
just.
It could be if OP is in love with her best friend, she does not know it.
Yeah.
Doesn't know.
Yeah, I'm just trying to help her out.
All right, guys. Well, that is Bridget, thanks so much for doing the show. We'll
Thanks
put
so much
in
for having me.
whatever link you want there into the description, but feel free to plug away as you wish.
Oh, geez, it's my turn. I plug? Okay, plugging. My @ is Bridgette Blank everywhere. That's BridgetteBlank. Bridget is spelled lots of different ways. I have a few shows coming up. I'm playing this upcoming Sunday, November 13th at the North End in Hollywood. It's going to be a pretty fun show. Lots of other people playing. I don't know if this is going to be up by then.
Probably not, but
Yeah, probably not. Oh, well. But November 16th, that same week, also maybe not up by then. I'm playing in Huntington Beach. If you're around there at the Mamba, December 10th in Northridge, Paragon Bar and Grill. It's going to be fun. I think that December 10th might be my last show of the year. So you might want to come out for that. Go ahead, follow me on wherever there is to follow. Listen on wherever there is to listen. I'm there. You'll find me.
Bridgette, a veritable gem and a half, if I've ever met one. Thanks so much for joining us today. We definitely got to have you back. And by the way, I had gone to a variety open mic before. It's very fun, so we should do that sometime. I would enjoy that.
Hell yeah. If you're not doing anything on Sunday, come on out. It's going to be lit.
It was more of like an empty podcast ending gesture.
Yeah, totally. No, yeah, totally.
I'm actually jamming with my shitty band on Sunday. We jam.
Man.
The boys jam. Yeah. And it is bad. It's very bad and very loud. But you know what? It's my apartment, okay?
That's good. You don't have any children to be annoyed.
Exactly. So that's what we're doing. All right, guys. Much love. We'll see you next time. Bye.